So in a way, the personality is giving us the clue, isn't it? That's kind of, it's like, kind of when you watch these detective things on television, they're looking for the clues, and our clues, because some spiritual schools say, oh, personality must get rid of the ego, but in a way, what you're saying is no, the personality is giving you the insight into what really is
Yes.
more true for you.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, the way that we look at the personality is that it's a mirror image of what is most true and most real about us. And so if we stay with this mirror image, it will lead us to what is deeper than that within ourselves.
So I wonder how we got there in the first place. Why would we do that? Why would we have this, something that's real, build a mirror image? It sounds strange, doesn't it?
Well, it does, but if you look at things from a slightly different angle, you could say that the purpose of human life is about learning to recognize our true nature, and that the capacity to develop a whole structure that reflects that nature develops along with it capacity for self-reflection. So as we unwind that structure, which goes hand in hand with our capacity to know ourselves, we have the possibility of our deepest nature recognizing itself.
Okay, well, that makes sense. You also talked about, in your book, you talk about as if there's almost two levels of understanding the Enneagram. It's like it's understandable on the level of the personality,
Yes.
but of course there's a much wider picture if one takes the wider picture of consciousness into account.
Yes, right, right. Yeah, we can look at all of the passions as difficulties that each of us faces in life, and we can also look at them from the perspective of difficulties that one faces on the spiritual path itself. So those are really two levels of discussing the same thing.
And they're both true, and they
They're
both
both
somehow
true.
interconnect.
Yes, yes. They're just different degrees of, or different levels of understanding of the map. That's the great thing about the map of the Enneagram. It's relevant for the most superficial parts of our lives, and it's also relevant for the deepest depths of our lives.
It's this thing, I think it comes back to this thing of my Enneagram type, the virtue is courage. And I think that really applies to anyone that is going to really kind of maybe watching this program, they're going to say, well, this looks really interesting, but of course it's got consequences insofar as if you're going to start really looking, it starts changes in your life, you start to see something about yourself you probably don't like
Right.
and don't want to recognize. It takes a lot of courage to go on this path, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does. It certainly does. Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing that happens is that in a way you start seeing yourself under a magnifying glass. And so you see wonderful things and those get bigger.
Yeah.
And you also see parts of yourself that are quite painful and difficult to be with. And so for a while on the journey, the suffering seems to increase. But it's on the road to it resolving through being with the truth of our experience.
And how is it for you, someone that's been doing this for a long, long time? Is it still the suffering comes up, or do you feel you're a little bit on the home run now, so to speak?
It's definitely different. It's definitely different. I've been working on myself for the whole of my adult life, since I was 20.
Wow.
That was when I first started working with the Enneagram.
Yeah.
So that's been many decades, and I won't say how many.
Well, a couple, isn't it, probably?
A couple, definitely a couple. And I live in a very different world than the world I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's been worth it, the hard work, isn't it? And the
Absolutely.
courage and the brutal honesty and all the things that you talk about in the book.
Absolutely, yeah. Some of us have to go for the truth of our experience and aren't content to live on the surface. So
Yeah.
it's definitely worth it.
No, I understand that from myself.
Yes, I know you do.
So, thank you for coming along, Sandra, and chatting with us at Conscious TV. And just to say that Sandra is doing these retreats in Wales, and her website address will be at the bottom of this programme, so you can find out more about that. And I've found this book really fascinating about the Enneagram, and she has another one as well. So the other one is called
The Spiritual Dimension of the Enneagram, 9 Faces of the Soul.
Okay, so there you go. Thank you for watching Conscious TV, and we'll see you again soon. Goodbye.